kids! So today I'm going to teach you how to make a figure-8 collapsible hula hoop. In all my time making hoops, I haven't found a really comprehensive tutorial. There's one really great paper one that I found and printed out and used, but if you're more of a visual learner, like the video sort of way, there's not a lot out there. So, first things first, what do you need to make a figure-8 collapsible hula hoop? Polypipe or PVC. The black stuff that comes in coils is called polypipe, and there's a couple of different things that you want to know when you're picking it out. This size on my left is a 1/2 inch diameter polypipe, and you can see in relation to my thumb about how big that is. And then the size on my right over here is a 3/4 inch polypipe, and you can see in relation to my thumb how big that one is. So a 3/4 inch polypipe is better for a beginner hoop, so that's the one that I'm going to use to teach you with today. This is 3/4 inch polypipe, 160 psi. And 160 psi is a plumbing term that basically just means how much pressure it can hold internally when there's water in it. Since you're not going to be putting water in your hoop, it's not that important to have a super high psi, but the 160 stuff is going to be a lot stronger, a lot more durable, and last longer than just 100. 100 gets kinks in it easier. So if you can find the higher psi stuff, go for it. The 1/2 inch that I have is 125 psi, and that's super durable and strong. So if you're looking for a lighter hoop that's going to really last you, I would go for this stuff. The next stuff that you need is a union or a coupler, and they come in these really awful individual plastic packages. So if you can think of a great art project to do with all the extra excess packaging from your hula hoop making, please let me know because it drives me nuts. So your coupler looks like this. It's gray with these little ribs on it, and it's going to shove right inside either end of your hula hoop. And the way that you do that is you need to heat up the plastic of your hoop. And there are a few ways you can do that. One is with some boiling water, which is the technique I'm going to use because boiling water is very accessible to anyone who has a stove or even a microwave. You can make hot water. And the other way is with a hairdryer, like a super high heat hairdryer. You can heat the plastic up enough to soften it. Or if you have access to a heat gun, like one that you would use in a shop or for shrink wrapping or something like that, if you're a super tool-oriented person, and you might have one of those work great. Careful, because you can melt the plastic really easily. So these have a few names. They might be called unions, they might be called couplers, or they might be called connectors. Ask the person that you are at the hardware store with to help you find the size that's going to fit your PVC. If you're having trouble finding it, the coupling section can be kind of overwhelming. But the other thing that I would highly suggest is call ahead to your hardware store and ask what kind of polypipe they have. I've been on a lot of wild goose chases to find what I need, and there's a few places that have great selections, a few places that let you cut it. You don't have to buy it in a 100-foot coil. This is a 100-foot coil, and that's going to make about 10 beginner hoops, which is a great, awesome number because then you can have 10 people hula hooping. Woo! So oh, right, and then a really, really important part is your PVC cutter. If you can find one to borrow, awesome. I would highly suggest investing in it. They cost anywhere between $8 and $12, and they will make you so happy when you're cutting your PVC. You can use a hand saw, but it takes a while, and it's hard to get the ends just right. The PVC cutter is super accurate and exact, and it's just a lifesaver. Also, if you ever go traveling, take it with you, because you're going to want to make hula hoops, and you're going to be like, shoot, I didn't bring my PVC cutter, and now I have to buy a new one, so I own a couple of these. And next time, I'm going to learn my lesson and take it with me. So that's it for the materials you need. PVC, your unions, couplers, connectors, whatever you want to call them, and their stupid individual packaging, and some boiling water, a heat gun, or a super hot hairdryer. And next we will move on to the making, cutting, and so forth process.